everyone, welcome back to Task 1 Tuesdays, where we look at a Task 1 question and I write a letter for you to learn from. So let's get started. This one is brand new from this week. You recently booked a part-time course at a college. You now need to cancel your booking. Write a letter to the college administrator. And this is a great question because this is precisely exactly what is happening with me lately. In your letter, say which part-time course you booked, explain why you need to cancel your booking, and ask about booking a different course. Okay, so first things first, you don't have to worry about the details. Just make sure they're realistic. That's all that's really important. So the first thing is, now they haven't really said, dear sir or madam, or start this way, one way or the other. You can just stick to good old dear sir or madam, that's fine, but I would recommend personalizing things just a little bit. And again, don't worry about names. You can just pick a random name. Dear Mr. Smith, who cares? Nobody cares. So, write to the college administrator. Now, it's the reason why this would be semi-formal or formal, not really purely formal, because purely formal letters are written to strangers. So people that you don't know at all, you just know that there is someone in this position. So that's formal. But like I said, semi-formal is when you kind of know them, but you don't have a personal relationship. So they're not your friends, they're not your family members either. So that's why I consider this semi-formal, but you don't really have to worry because there's not a lot of differences. It's semi-formal will start with the person's name. So for example, we'll write down Dear Mr. Smith, and don't worry, oh my God, that's so common. No one cares. It's perfectly fine. Make sure there's always a period after Mr., Miss, or Mrs. So any name, you don't get points for writing Dear Mr. Edward, Woodward, or something like that. You don't spend time, because a lot of people do this where they spend a lot of time thinking, which name should I add here? There are no points for names. Just slap on any name. Nobody cares. That's not what the examiners are giving you points for. But there should be a name in case you are writing, any kind of letter really, except for formal, because with formal letters, it's dear sir or madam, because you don't know them. You don't know their gender. That's why you say dear sir or madam. It could be a man, could be a woman. Of course, you don't know their name. That's why you're writing dear sir or madam in the first place. But here, it's really unlikely. It's almost impossible that you're enrolled at a college and you don't even know the college administrator's name. That's like the simplest thing to find out, right? Think about how you would approach this kind of thing in real life. Of course, you would just Google them and find out their email, right? So there we go. Dear Mr. Smith, now why are you writing? I am writing this letter to, you can be a bit more direct with semi-formal. You get straight to the point, really. If you're writing to a friend or if you're writing to a family member, then you could kind of faff around a little bit. Just talk about like, oh, it's been such a long time. I haven't seen you. We haven't met, etc., etc. That's all fine. It's good, in fact, because when you do that sort of thing, you're showing that you understand the different contexts and, how one communicates with people. But generally, in any kind of professional setting, whether it's working, studying, etc., you'll want to get straight to the point. You don't want to waste their time. You don't want to waste your time either. So I'm writing this letter to you. Get straight to declaring what your purpose is. So you booked a part-time course. That means you're not a full-time student. You don't attend like every single day. Maybe you have, it could be any kind of part-time course. It could be a weekend course that's also considered part-time. It could be that you just come once a week. You have lessons once a week. It could be an online course as well, maybe. Could be anything really. Just you're not a full-time typical university student. Now you need to cancel your booking. So you need to figure out first which course, the bullet point is very, very clear. Say which part-time course you booked. So what kind of course is it? Could be anything really. Could be math, could be languages, could be absolutely anything. I mean, there's no limit. You don't get more points for saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have to cancel my French course." And you don't get fewer points for saying, "I'd like to drop out of my astronomy course." There's no such thing. So pick anyone. I'm writing this letter to. What is your point? You need to, well, tell them that you cannot attend whatever course it is that you booked. So it's really important though that the information is all separate. So bullet point 1 says, say which part-time course you booked. That has to be a separate paragraph on its own. Explain why you need to cancel your booking. That has to be, again, a separate paragraph on its own. Ask about booking a different course. That also has to be separate. Okay, so, and your reasons can be absolutely anything. It's not like, but what a lot of people will do is they'll say things like, due to personal reasons, I cannot continue with the program, which is just kind of like, it's very lazy writing. I mean, you don't have to go like super in depth, but you can at least mention what the reason is. Because remember, when writing letters or even essays for that matter, the more convincing you are, the more realistic things seem, the better your score can be. It's not like there's a scale or anything where they're checking, okay, which letter is the most convincing that I read all day, that one gets the highest score. It's not like that, but you do have to, because all these skills that they're testing in the exam, they're all real life skills. So it's not like you might say, oh, but we don't write letters anymore. And that's true, but you do write emails. It's practically the same thing. So I'm writing this letter to let you know about a program that I enrolled in recently, last week. Could be anything, right? So that I can no longer continue with. Very direct, straight to the point, not wasting anyone's time. So I'm writing this letter to let you know about a program that I recently enrolled in that I can, unfortunately, because you're giving them some bad news. It doesn't necessarily have to be tragic or anything like that. But it's an inconvenience, right? Because now they have to unenroll you. Maybe they have to refund you the course fee. Maybe they have to change a lot of things here and there. So it's an inconvenience, and that's why you say unfortunately. So it's not always just bad news that you say unfortunately for, but it's also when you're inconveniencing someone. And it's always good to be as polite as you possibly can. So I'm writing this letter to let you know about a program that I recently enrolled in that I can unfortunately no longer continue with. This is the diploma in French. Okay, it's getting too close to real life for me. This is a diploma in French. This is the part-time, because of course you enrolled part-time. So I hope nobody from the department is looking at my video. This is the part-time diploma in French that started maybe last week. And will continue. Which part-time course did you book? So you have to give them, as much information as you can, but not too much, because like right now, this is, okay, my word counter is not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, click on here and see if I can, okay, anyway, it's not showing me the right word count for some, okay, there we go. Now it's working, or is it? Yeah, I'm going to have to switch over to word counter, the website. Because Google is giving me a lot of trouble today. Okay, well, anyway, so what I was saying basically is that you don't have to write a lot. You just need to write roughly around 50 words. Could be a little bit more than that, could be a tiny bit less than that, but I will say try and make sure that each of your paragraphs is 45 words minimum. Not less than that, because then the problem is that you don't have enough information. So if you don't have enough information, then you don't really get a good score for task achievement. So that's something that you want to, take care of. This right now is 39 words, so it's not good enough right now. Of course, I'm going to add a couple things. Okay, so where were we? All right. So this is 39 words. I still need to write a bit more. This is the part-time diploma in French that started last week and will continue until spring, until whatever. Or you can mention, I don't know. I mean, there's no like continue until that started. Maybe you can mention a specific date on, let's see, on the 15th of September. And you don't have to write 15th of September either. This is one way. You can also just write on 15th September. No th, no off needed. On the 15th of September, and we'll continue until maybe October, November. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Until the 15th of December. Okay, that's enough. Say which part-time course you booked. That's all that I really have to say here. So this is, oh, I have to check the word count again. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so this is 47 words. That's really all that you need. You could add a few more bits and bobs of information, but you don't really need that, to be honest. You don't need much more. It's part-time, the program name, when did it start? Maybe if you want to add the professor's name, why not? This is the part-time diploma in French program. Whoops. Program. It started on 15 December. December. Okay. Diploma in French, maybe 201, something like that. Sometimes they have numbers, sometimes they have no numbers. So this is all that we really need. Now, the next thing we need to do is explain why you need to cancel your booking. So it could be any reason you're sick or you cannot continue because you don't like it. Of course, don't be that direct. You have to be somewhat, I guess that you have to be polite. You kind of have to also be, let's say, diplomatic about things, right? You cannot say, oh, the teacher is awful. You cannot say that, even if it's true. You'll have to frame it in a different way. The teaching methods are incompatible with my learning style. Okay, maybe that's a bit too much, but you get the point. Okay, so explain why you need to cancel your booking. It is a great program, but I work on the weekends as well, because of which I am unable to attend almost half my lessons. Right? And what happens when you don't attend your lessons? Your progress is stalled. You don't understand things. Everything becomes a big problem. So I'm unable to attend almost half my lessons, which is causing me to really fall behind in class. So far out of why you need to cancel your booking. This is why I was wondering if I could cancel my enrollment, even though I do enjoy our classes. So I'm really trying to be as polite as possible. Enjoy our, maybe just my class, even enjoy the class. I do enjoy learning, or something like that. Again, it doesn't have to be overly specific, but it does have to have just around enough details. Okay, so let's check the word count on this one. This is 56. That's all I need. Don't think that just because I wrote this huge paragraph, I'm going to get an amazing score. That's not true. Whatever you write, it has to be relevant, and you have to know when to stop. That's another skill, knowing when to stop. So, ask about booking a different course. I saw on the website, on the college website, that you offer that another program with lessons on Monday and Wednesday evenings is being offered as well. Could I possibly switch to that one? Switch to that one? I'm willing to bear any cancellation fees if necessary, if required. You're trying to make things smooth, right? So ask about booking a different course. We've done this much. I think it's a little bit on the smaller side, but I would still like to just check the word count. Okay, that's 38 words. That's not enough, so we need to give more information. Ask about booking a different course. I saw on the college website that another program with lessons on another French program with lessons on Monday and Wednesday evenings is being offered as well. Could I possibly switch to that one? It would work perfectly for me since I have I only work in the afternoon since I in the afternoons on or maybe you could say that would work. It would work perfectly. I missed the word. Okay, well, it would work perfectly for me since I only work in the afternoons from Monday to Wednesday. I am, of course, willing to bear any cancellation fees required. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need more than that. And then, now because you are requesting something, you could say, I look forward to it could be to a positive consideration. So I want you to consider this positively. And essentially, you're saying, please do what I want you to do. So I look forward to a positive consideration of my request. And then you end with, now you know their name, dear Mr. Smith or whatever it is. So in this case, you end with yours sincerely. When it's semi-formal, you end with yours sincerely. When it's formal, that is, you're writing to a stranger, in that case, you end up with yours faithfully. And then you can just add any kind of first name and last name. Both need to be there. You cannot just end with the first name because they probably have dozens, if not hundreds of students with the same first name or just the last name. So both need to be there. I know it sounds very simple, but a lot of people forget it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check the entire thing. Just going to see what the word count is like so you can have an idea of how much you would need to write for a decent letter. And this is 179 words, which is just around what most of my students also end up writing. So there's your first paragraph. There you go. You can pause the screen and you can have a look. And then you have the second paragraph right here. And you have the third one. It should be work, of course, typo. And there you have it. So there's your entire letter from start to finish. And I'm hoping that this video will be useful to you. It's really not that difficult to write a good letter. You just need to be sure of what's expected of you. And, 20 minutes is more than enough time. We've done this in 17 and a half minutes, and that's with me doing a lot of yapping. So I hope this was useful. Don't forget to check out our other videos. And in case you would like to do a course, my number is right there on the screen, so you can call or text me anytime. All right then, see you in the next video.